Hello, I'm Jeff with Mod Innovations, the maker of Modi Boxi, and today I get to show off the XL Boxi. This was one of the most requested features of the Modi Boxi system, was to have a larger Boxi, and we are finally doing it. We'll be going over several different things today. For starters, what's printable on a 300 by 300 printer or bigger? Don't worry, we'll also be going over, if you have a smaller printer, the composite Boxi. We've made a lot of new files and new features just for the composite Boxi because we know most people don't have a 300 by 300 printer. So there's a lot of really cool stuff that's a part of that system as well. We also will be going over the new advanced rail system, which allows you to do crazy configurations. This is also compatible with the large and the XL. So if you have a lot of large Boxis, you actually can take advantage of the new advanced rail system. We'll also be going over how the interior of the box works. So the extra large and the large are actually very compatible with each other. And we want to be able to move things back and forth between the large and the extra large. We'll go over how that works and the new files that are compatible with that. So let's jump right into Modi Boxi XL. One thing I'd like to point out before we get started, you'll see two different Boxi styles. One, which has the traditional holes of 3 in the middle and 1 on each corner. The other, which has 1 in each corner, 1 slightly inset, and 3 in the middle. The ones that are slightly inset are actually the same width as a large Boxi. My personal preference is the ones with more holes, but it really is up to you. I like to point out the difference between a large and an extra large. The extra large is actually 70 millimeters interior, bigger than the large itself. This will come into play later in the video, you'll see why, but I just wanted to point out so people understand the difference in size. It's actually a significant amount more room between these two. Again, extra large, large. This is an XL cage. It doesn't look like it because it's pretty short, but this is all you need to fit a lot of stuff. There's an entire game in here, we'll dive into it in a minute. Just wanted to point out that this is a level 3 cage, and we have a level 2, a level 1, and a level 2 Boxi, extra large Boxi, and with a latch lid with a handle. The latch lid and each one of these Boxis were printed on a 300 by 300 printer, but there are alternatives for people with smaller printers, and we'll get into that later. Please fast forward to that if you want to see it, but we're going to dive into how all this stuff comes together. So we're going to open up the latch lid, take that off, and as you can see, you can fit a ton of minis inside of the XL. So this is all my minis for this particular game. So let's take off the level 2, which was on top, and show you what's underneath. This is a level 1 XL Boxi. In it, we have some small parts trays with the cards, the tokens, the dice, the markers. These can all just come out. You can put them on your table to play and put them back. Underneath this tray are even more things for the game. So I'll move this out of the way. And with this game, you have your cards, you have your player trays. Move those out of the way. You have extra minions, and you have your board pieces. All these can go back. And now you can take the game anywhere you want. One of the advantages of the Modi Boxi system is as the games grow and come out with more expansion packs, you just print more Boxis and keep adding to the stack. This is an XL tackle Boxi. It's a beast. This is just one way you can configure it. I think our instructions have something a little different than this, and that's fine. It's up to you how you want to configure your tackle Boxi. We just wanted to show it off a little bit and how big it is. If you look, it's super wide. You can fit a lot more in here. It does support off of this one single handle. One issue you will have is weight. You want to make sure your weight distribution is even between the two. Earlier I had one which was lopsided, and I had to move things around to make sure the weight distribution worked well. If you're all looking to do a double style where you have two different boxes for the XL size together, this is one option. The other option is in the Pro Pack. There's a central handle for the cage system, and you can use that as well. On this configuration, we have a level 2 here. We have a level 2 drawer. We have a level 2 and a level 1 on the other side. On this side, we're showing the composite top for the XL. This actually uses 5 different segments that can print diagonally on a smaller printer, but I kind of like it because it rolls and gets out of your way, so you can put things in here and then, you know, this big lid flopping. On this side, we're using another composite lid, but this one uses a big plate and a small little one, which is actually the same as this size here. And this opens up like this. On this side, on the inside, you'll see that we have a level 1 advanced rail system. We'll get into that a little bit later. And this is actually the composite version of that, so you can print everything in here on a smaller printer bed. So under here, this is actually the paint holder for the Pro Pack for the large Boxy, not the extra large. This is the large one that fits in here. I'm going to pull that out. With that out of the way, I can pull this forward. This is holding my brushes and my X-Acto blades and a Sharpie in here. And this is a DIY tray, which is also compatible with the large system. So this can come forward. On this side, we actually have a paint pot holder. This is actually the one for the large, but you can put the extra large version here if you'd like to. And on this little side, tucked away underneath, is a 2x2 little square to hold all other little pieces. And that will just tuck back here, keep this nice and tight. We will slide that back and we'll drop this back in and close that up. And on this side, we have a drawer. In that drawer, I'm holding paints using the Pro Pack paint holders. And on top, empty tray for now, but I'm going to be putting more stuff in here later. The next thing I'd like to show you is our advanced rail system. In a nutshell, the advanced rail system is if you took today's rail system for holding minis, like you see here, and combined it with our DIY trays. It goes a lot further than that, so let's dive into the different parts of this advanced rail system. Let's have a look at the new rail shelves. So first, we've updated them to go to the full width of an XL, so it meets the full width of an XL, but we went a lot further than that. The more complicated update we did was first, you can now have minis go up and down, so the rails can go in either direction. So you have them go upside down or right side up. And if you turn this sideways, you can have them go left and right. An example of that's here. I'll get into that in a second. The next update we did was we have a typical shelf, but on the bottom we added notches. So now you can connect walls going downward if you wish, or upward if you turn it upside down. We also added from the Pro Pack the ability to put walls in that interconnect, so you can cross-section them if you want to turn the rails, the advanced rail system, into more of a DIY tray. You can do that with this one. Then we also added the regular support walls, so you can divide up your boxes in another way. All of the different shelves that you've seen are compatible with each other, so you can interlock them in many different ways and opens up a lot more configuration. So you can mix and match your DIY style Boxy, where you can have a bunch of different compartments in different sizes, and your rail system to hold all of your minis all in one giant box. This is also compatible with the large, so if you get the XL, you can actually use a lot of these features inside of the large. The next thing to go over is the advanced rail boxes themselves. So obviously we made one that would fit inside of a XL Boxy. So that's what this is, and that holds the rail shelves. We want to take it a step further. We actually wanted to give users more boxes to hold rails. So here we have a very thin one. We have a 4x4, which you can fit 4 of these in here if you want to put 4 different ones. We have a 2x6, and a lot of these are also compatible with the large. We'll go over how these different things lay out in the layout video of how the new layout system works for the XL Boxy. I just wanted to take a moment to show off how diverse this system can be. This is a 4x4 advanced rail box. So here we have a divider, which is similar to the Pro dividers. Now, please note the Pro dividers are not compatible with the advanced rail system. We had to make the walls a little thicker so they won't work, so please print out new versions of these. So this is the advanced rail system Pro divider. I'm gonna slip that in, and now I'm gonna take a double, or first off, a 2-wide double rail system. So this has rails on both sides, so you can mount your minis, and I'll slip it in there like that. So you can really divide up your space in tons of different ways using rails and dividers. I just kind of wanted to highlight that because it's a very unique system and you get tons of diversity out of it. And everything is compatible with each other. So if I take the same one out of that box, I can put it into here, which is a 2 wide, and it slips right in. Now you might not have a mini this close together because that'd be really small, but it just shows you the diversity that happens here. If you're looking to see how the hold downs actually work, please check out the 013 update video. The link should be in the show notes below. You can also check out our instruction manual. We'll have a full page on it. I didn't want to get into this video to make it too long because it's pretty complicated, but they're really cool. It's a great update to the system, but please check that out. Now I'd like to go over the new grid system that we have for the XL Boxy. To make it easier, we actually have 2 level 1 Boxys here, just so that you can see how things move in and out depending on what angle we show the video at. And you'll see different heights in here. Normally you wouldn't do that. We just wanted to use it for illustration purposes. Now let's go over how the new interior of the XL Boxy works. And with the XL Boxy coming out, we're actually updating how the interior of a large Boxy works inside of the XL package. The extra large Boxy is on an 8x8 grid, and the large Boxy was on a 3 grid, and we're now calling it a 6x6 grid. So if you're doing the math, anything 6 will fit inside of a extra large Boxy, and you can add 2 more. Let's start putting some different components inside of these boxes so you can see how they go together. So first off, if I take the traditional large Boxy and put in one of the small parts trays, I can fit 3 of these inside of a small parts tray. This is now called a 2x6 because it takes up 2 of the slots, and you can fit 3 of them, which makes 6, and it goes the full width, which is 6 total. You can take this and put it inside of the extra large Boxy, and you can fit 4 of these and 1 of the 2x8 because you have 2 extra spaces going this way. So what that allows us to do is the small parts tray works really well. So I can actually take an 8x2, another 8x2, another 8x2, and an 8x2 advanced rail system and put them all next to each other. So here I can have minis inside of the advanced rail box. That's a 2x8, and put in rails to hold down my minis, and then have small parts, and small parts if I want to. I can do 2 of these. It also allows you to take these out and put in a 4x4 here. And if I had another 4x4, I can put that here. So now I can do a 4x4 and a 4x8 because 4 plus 4 is 8. And this is 4 going across, so I can fit 2 2x2s. Now let's move some of this to the large to show you how that grid works. So this is a 4x4, and again, this is a 6x6 grid, so it allows me to add something like the small parts tray. And I can add a 2x4 into this corner. So as you can see, you can mix and match all of these different trays and sizes across both the extra large and the large because they're both on the same grid system. So another example, if you already print out a bunch of the paint holders that were part of the Pro Pack, the snap and paint holders, I can take it out of my large Boxy, put it into my extra large Boxy, add a small parts tray here, and add a small parts tray from the large set over on this side. One thing I'd like to point out is one of the big reasons why we did all of these different types of trays and different sizes is so that people with different size printers can utilize the XL Boxy. We do have a composite Boxy, that part of the video is a little bit later, but we wanted to make sure when you looked at this you knew, oh, I can actually print like the 4x4 and do 4 of those inside of an XL and still take advantage of having the advanced rail system. Next up, we have the composite Boxy and all the things that you can print on a smaller printer. We did everything we could to make everything compatible with smaller printers, so let's go over those now. First off, we have the composite Boxy. This is a composite Boxy 2.0. With this new Boxy, it actually holds together by bolts. If you want to know how to assemble one of these, there is instructions in our instruction manual, and we have a video for the upgrade on version 013. Please check out that video of how to construct a composite Boxy. But it goes together in 4 parts with 8 5 bolts, which are brand new to the system, and it's incredibly strong and very rigid and doesn't come apart. This is actually the 4 height version of it, and we really are happy with the way this came out. Next up is this 2-handle lid. The XL does have a latch lid, but we decided to do this lid, which is a double handle lid. And the way this works is it takes 2 different pieces that come apart. These can be printed on a smaller printer because of height, and you can print them on an angle on most 256 by 256 printers. You can print them diagonally. Actually, I think you can actually put 2 of these like this on a 256 by 256 printer and have the dual handle for the XL Boxy. So they go together like this, and you can latch them. But we know that not everyone has a 256 by 256 printer, so we also made a composite version. This is the other version of the double handle. This is actually designed for a smaller print bed. It prints in 4 parts with 2 different STL files. It gets held together by 0.5 bolts here, and the bolts that hold on the actual handles help hold it together. You can unlatch it like this, separate them, and get to your parts that are inside of your Boxy. Both double handle lids are compatible also with the cage system. One small thing that got updated in the Pro Pack is this handle. This handle is for the cage with handle, and it can print on an angle on a smaller print bed. This is the composite version of the Advanced Rail System box. It snaps together. The only limitation is you really can't use it as a tray. It's meant to sit inside of a Boxy, so lifting them out, I wouldn't recommend it, but it does allow you to take advantage of the rail system at the largest size. So this is actually the XL. So the way it works is you take your different part, you take your 2 parts, and you push it together, and they snap together. And you do that 4 times. And you slip this inside of a Boxy. It looks rigid here, but really I wouldn't use it as an actual tray. It's meant to sit inside of a Boxy. We do have 2 versions of the Advanced Rail composite box. We have this size, which is an 8x8, which fits perfectly in an XL. We also have a 6x6, which will fit in a large or as part of a build for an XL. Please check the size chart to know what size you actually can print of these. That will be in our instruction manual or on the page for the XL. And the last thing I like to show you to be compatible with smaller printers are these paint trays. These hold your paints in place so they don't wiggle. And they get printed in 4 separate sections. You drop them in, you rotate them so that they fit appropriately, and you can have all your paints with you inside of an extra large Boxy, but printed on a much smaller printer. Thank you so much for watching the video on our XL Boxy. We are super excited to get this out and see what people start building with it. If you have any questions, please join our Discord server. The link for it will be in our show notes. We have a very active community of awesome builders in there that help everyone out. I'm always on there too, answering questions for people. So please come join us. Everyone's welcome. Also, if you'd like to see more content like this, please subscribe to our channel and like the video. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to comment.